It explains what we were looking at when we read in that Leviticus, when it says that a shaken leaf shall put us to flight. This is what did it.
What did white America do to the black mother? Nobody knows the trouble I seen.
Yeah, because nobody gives a damn about us. Go ahead.
The slaves experienced a break-in period. During this period, it was the purpose of the slave owners to break the spirits of their captives and mold them into accepting the slave owners' inhumane
Right.
expectations.
That paragraph right there describes black people today. Our people have been broken in to the point where there's no real semblance of who we truly are. And the nations have worked together craftily to make sure that we don't come back to who we really are. Okay, and for many nations are gathered against us to keep us in this paragraph right here. They broke us. A breaking in period means like to break them in to make them useful for your purpose. Right. Breaking them in means breaking our what's natural to us, our heritage, our name, our culture. Break all that and form us into something that could be used 100% for their benefit. That's what that is. That's what they did to us. It was the purpose of them to break the spirits, break the mind, break our thinking, break our aspirations, break our love for each other, to break all of that, to make us only useful for their purpose.
Right.
This is not light stuff here that we're talking about. This is real stuff. This is where we are. They terrorized people and they molded us into accepting how they wanted us to be. That's when I make this statement about the Negro was made in America. This is the factory that did it. That factory called breaking in period. That's when they made us into something else. Read.
To accomplish this, blacks were forced to watch some of the cruelest acts ever witnessed by mankind. One such act was a forced tying of naked, pregnant women to a tree. The sacred stares of
the scared stares. Right.
The scared stares of her fellow slaves must have been pain to her mind.
You got to visualize this. To that top of that paragraph, the second paragraph, is that in order to accomplish the breaking in period, to completely break their spirit, these black people were forced to watch. They made us watch some of the cruelest acts ever witnessed by mankind. Who did this? The so-called white man. Go back to that Bible again. Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter.
Deuteronomy chapter 28.
And verse, 49 or 50?
Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the persons of the old, nor show favor to the young.
That's exactly what we're reading here. Show no favor to the old or the young. Now we're going to read the history. Like I said, Ezekiel the 37th chapter is talking about us in this country. Nowhere else. This is what happened here. To accomplish this, go ahead.
To accomplish this, blacks were forced to watch some of the cruelest acts ever witnessed by mankind.
You got to stop there. The cruelest acts ever witnessed by mankind. The white man, the so-called white man, the devil did this.
Bishop Daniel 9 and 11.
Yes.
Right.
That's what this is talking about. Daniel 9 and 11. Exactly.
So this
But
basically
we're not the Jews.
Right.
It's basically
Kanye
saying,
West, you out of your mind for saying that.
So this never been done. That's what it's saying. This never been done. Nobody has never done this.
Nobody outdid him.
Right. And nobody has nobody else this been done to.
Right.
That's basically what it's saying.
Yeah.
Daniel 9. Yep.
Daniel 9. Come on.
To accomplish this, blacks were forced to watch some of the cruelest acts ever witnessed by mankind. Mm-hmm. One such act was a forced tying of a naked black pregnant woman to a tree.
So wait a minute now. See, like I said, you got to visualize this. They made brothers and sisters watched a pregnant black woman being tied to a tree. Tied her to a tree, stretched her out. Tied her to a tree. Go ahead.
The scared stares of her fellow slaves
The
must
scared stare. So they're looking at her, and you can see the terror in their eyes because they know what's about to happen.
Right.
The scared stares as they're looking at this woman, pregnant.
So that's making her scared.
That's why I say that's exactly. They say it must have been pain to her mind.
Right.
She's looking. She's about to be sacrificed and chopped up, and she's looking at grown men.
Bishop,
That's supposed to be her savior. I'm showing you there's levels in this destruction. She's looking at black men that been picking up all kinds of big hay bales and all types of stuff. These are big, strong men, but they are made to watch her being chopped up.
Right.
They're made to watch her get mutilated. And they are standing there and are made to see what's about to happen to her. And she sees that they see her.
And it says, Bishop, it says pregnant woman. So
pregnant woman.
They're not starting with her arm first.
No.
They ain't starting with her fingers first. They starting with that belly.
Yes.
And just think about it, even in itself, the fact that she's naked,
Right.
you know,
No dignity.
you know, that taking all dignity, everything away from her, she has to stand there tied to a tree naked.
And that's the reason why a lot of our sisters today, to this day, have no care for their bodies. Because this kind of trauma went down. The white man owned them. You understand?
Yes, sir.
And he strip her naked, put a little rag around her behind, and have her walking with her chest out all the time. And it becomes customary. And that's the reason why these things pass down to us. Go ahead.
The scared stares of her fellow slaves must have been pain to her mind. The sun that once soothed her must have been pain to her body.
It must have been pain to her body to see these men looking at her. And looking at her with fear. Like, as she sees them, their eyes is telling her that they know what's about to happen to her. All of that's going into her while she's literally about to be the victim. I mean, if that's a level of terror that they did to us.
And I was thinking about that next verse where it says the sun that once soothed her
Yeah.
is now pain
It's
to her.
now
meaning,
pain to-
meaning
right.
that they left her out there.
Yeah.
She's probably just baking in that sun.
Right. Exactly.
But the greatest pain of all must have been the sight of the white maniac,
The white man, the cruel master that you read in Deuteronomy. Go ahead.
the slave owner. For in his hand was a large knife.
Go ahead.
This knife announced pain and death.
That's what those scared stares, they saw that. And she saw that they saw the knife in his hand. And they were powerless. They couldn't do anything. Go ahead.
The slave owner would take the knife, plunge it into her abdomen, and cut her belly open. Then he will pull the unborn baby out of this dying mother and throw its helpless life to the ground.
And he would, in the other record said that he would take his boot heel and smash the baby's head. After the bloody body, dead baby is on the ground. He would do all of that so that he could make a Negro out of us. And you want to tell me about these damn bastard so-called white people? You want to call them the Jews? No, this happened to Jews here. These are the Jews here that we're reading about.
I was going to say, Bishop, so when we out there on the streets and we telling you that the so-called white man can't come to our heaven, that's exactly what the Bible means. That's what we mean. Why would you want this in your kingdom? Why would you want this in your kingdom? They tied your damn women up to a tree, cut the baby out of her, and threw it on the ground, stomping on it. And you want that man in your kingdom? What you think he gonna do to you? Let you just run all over him? Come on, man. Our people is bugged out their mind.
Yeah, they're the result of what we're reading here.
And just reading that kind of just pricks your spirit.
Yeah.
To visualize that and knowing that even if you was back then, you couldn't do nothing.
You couldn't do nothing. You couldn't do anything.
Yeah, we want payback.
Yeah. Just imagine, because there was many instances like this here. The white man would come inside the man's sleeping quarters where his wife is. Say, get up, take a walk. Send him out. And the white man will bring his visitor from another plantation and say, you want a treat? I got plenty in here. And the woman was married to the brother that they made him take a walk and sent him in there, and the word was pleasure him. And she would have to defile herself with this maniac. And the worst part about it is that he would, after the white man finished soiling her and defiling the hell out of her, he'd leave. And then they called the black man to go back in there to deal with the woman. And can you imagine how she's on the bed trembling or whatever? The trauma.
You got to console her.
You got to console her. Well, at the same time, he got the question in his mind, did she like it? I mean, all of these different things are going through this man's head. And then on another level, she has to still keep his man. She has to console him and still keep his manhood up. Knowing that he couldn't do anything about it, she still has to make him feel like a man. Knowing that he couldn't do nothing, and he knows that he couldn't do nothing. I mean, these are the things that we went through. And we ain't never got no therapy. And I don't understand you black folks. How in the hell you don't want revenge for this here? The hell with what I don't give a damn about Esau's feelings. God says, here is the patience. Give me that. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
I was going to say, what you just explained, Bishop, that ain't just happened like one particular night. That was ain't no telling how many times he was bringing a visitor in.
It happened. It's documented that they did that. That's what they did. They even show you that in Mandingo. Now, in all kind of films, they showed you that kind of stuff. Read that. Revelation 13:9. And the 10th verse. Give me the 10th verse. Let's get right to it.
Revelations chapter 13.
Verse 10.
In verse 10.
And I also want Thessalonians 1 and 6.
Revelations chapter 13 and verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Ain't no maybes in that. It ain't no possibility they must get it. Go ahead.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints, meaning the saints want this. What the hell's wrong with you so-called Negroes? The Bible says that here is the faith. We have faith that we're going to get to chop our enemies up. We want the faith to go down when Christ come back. Yes, I want vengeance. Yes. The hell is this? Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. My reason for working in this vineyard is because I have faith that one day I'm going to get it.
Right.
That's why I'm doing this. The hell with this life. I want to be able to get vengeance for what happened to my people. Here is the faith and the patience of the saint. This is what we're waiting for. If you call yourself a man of God and a woman of God, you're supposed to want this. Right. That's the Bible. That's Jesus himself. Give me Thessalonians.
Righteous thing.
Seeing it is a righteous thing.
With God.
With who?
With God.
With who?
With God.
With God.
To recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
Both scriptures is in the New Testament. Where's a Christian at? Where's a Christian at? He can't read that in his church. That shows you that these churches are full of shit. I'm going to say it straight up. That shows you these churches ain't worth a damn. Your preachers are full of garbage. You full of garbage. You make me sick. You can't even read that in church. How in the hell are you going to talk about that you are a man of God and you can't even read that in your church? Right. You can't read the Bible in your church because the master going to get mad. That's how you see it. You ain't about this Bible. You ain't about this Bible at all. You Negroes, you just like what we read here. You're a broken in slave.